So now we want to learn how to create our own question, and the most basic question is going to be a multiple choice question. So again, I'm in my assessment here, and I'm going to add a new question right there. Here we have the description, the rights and stuff of the question, but I'm going to use actually what's called the tutorial style editor here. I select this little link here. And this brings up a similar window, but now it's a little more non-coding. We can put a description here. I'm going to call it sample multiple choice. We're going to make the usage rights. If you want private, only yourself use it. Let's go modifications by all. Basically, it's in the public domain out there. And here, notice they have the question has how many parts. That means how many questions are going to be within this one question. I'm going to leave it as 1 right now, and I will show you in this video what happens if we do 2. All right, so here's we get down part 0. Important to note in coding that 0 is generally used as the starting question. So this is like question 0 in a way. So now we have our options for this multiple choice question. So we're going to put those in here. We have the option of feedback. We have the option of changing if it's multiple choice, and we have some other options here as well. But for this one, we're just going to write multiple choice and how many options we want to have. We have 4 here. That can go up to 6. And then in the tutorial style editor, and then our vertical list, that's usually the more standard one you can see. There's other options there for horizontal list or pull down. I can show you what that looks like as well. And then the default here again is no shuffle, but you can shuffle all but last. That's great for, let's say, all of the above, or shuffle every single question. So every single time a student takes this assessment, or question, the order will be randomized there. Okay. So down here we have the option for hints. You can add that in there if you want to give a hint to the student, how many different hints you want to have. But for here, this is the question text. This is what the students will see. Okay, so let's go ask the question. Let's say, what color is the sky? So this is the question the students will see, and then we want to have the word $ answer box, and that tells the code here that, hey, this is where the question is going to be asked of the student, okay, where the multiple choice will be. And then the $ feedback we can put underneath it. That's going to be if we have feedback, which we will in this question here. So going back here to our options, what color is the sky? The correct choice is selected here. So let's go blue. Incorrect, let's go red, orange, and yellow. Okay. So those are going to be our options. We can press this little E here if you want the multiple choice to be write more than just, a few lines here. So if you want options, and it gives you this full WYSIWYG editor to do that. But we're going to leave it as such here. So let's go save that really quickly. And I think, let me get rid of the feedback for right now because we don't have any feedback in the question, but we will in a minute. But I'm just going to show you what it looks like here. So I'm going to press save and test. And here we can see what the questions would be for the student. What color is the sky? We want to write blue, and we submit. Got it right, wrong, but let's try another version. Yellow, submit. Wrong. Pretty simple. So I'm going to add this using defaults right here, and there's our question. We have a new ID number here. It's saved. It's the type is choices, and we can go back into the question. We press the action button here, and we edit the code. Notice here it brings us back to the code section, what the code kind of looks like, and this is more standard for other styles. Once you get more difficult coding questions, you'll be using this. But what we have here is that, here the question blue, red, orange, yellow, vertical format, no shuffle, answer 0. If we don't touch and don't change any of this, we can go back to the tutorial style editor up here at this link to make changes. But if we start changing this around, we won't be able to go back here and use the nice editor. So if we go back here, we can see we're back to where we were. And let's go add some feedback here. So for the first one, I want to say, yeah, blue, you got it correct. For red, I'm like, try again. Orange, let's say think blue. That's a way you get out of there. And yellow. Let's go. Not sure it's yellow. Right there. All right. There's basic feedback there, but if we're having feedback, and again, your feedback can be using the WYSIWYG with that little E button. If you want to make it, much longer feedback with like italicized, things like that, you can do that as well. But here we want to tell the code that we're gonna have feedback. Okay, so we want to ask the code here, say, hey, we're going to have feedback. Put that there. Got that. And let's go shuffle this now. We'll say shuffle all the questions. Save and test. Pops up in a new window. And we can see what color is the sky. Notice it's shuffle. I select yellow. Wrong. And then here's our feedback. If we want to select blue, we have the correct answer. And so that's how you add the basic feedback for multiple choice. If we want to add another question here using the multiple choice part, we can, let's do that. We'll do, it has two parts here. So I'm going to have a second part, and notice we have question 0, part 0, and part 1. I'm going to make this multiple choice here, but I'm going to make it 2 options. And let's say it's a true and false. False question. Let's say we don't want feedback. I want to make it a horizontal list. We can see what that looks like here. And now we want to change the code a little bit. What color is the sky is going to be question A, the first part. And answer box, we have to put brackets now 0, saying this is question 0. And then for part B, right here, let's say, is the sky blue? And then we'll put answer box 1. So that's the second question here. The answer to be true. Is the sky blue? We want a horizontal list, and we'll see what that looks like. So we save and test. And we can see the question, the second question here is below the first one in the order we have it. And we have a true and false question here, and that's how it's listed horizontally. We also have the ability to make the vertical list. Let's say we want to make it a pull down. Okay. And those are the main choices I would recommend for multiple choice. Okay, so now we have a pull down option. So if you save some space, you have your pull down options here of where you want it. And let's say again, red, let's say I pick false. And we can see the first one had feedback. The second one did not have feedback because we didn't write any. All right. So that is how you do a basic multiple choice question here. We can see the open and regular question editor, see what the code looks like. As you see, we have different parts here in the code as well. We have the first question up here, then the second question right here. But yeah, so you can go back and forth to kind of see what that looks like. And a lot of times, some people will use a tutorial style editor to start a question and then go back into the editing side of it to add more things to it later. But here, that's a way of kind of going back and forth. Just again, be careful that you're once you start editing here, it's really hard to go back to the tutorial style editor. Also, one thing note here, since we have 2 questions, our question type has changed to a multi-part because it has multiple parts, and the answer types is written here. Okay, so we had that, it was automatically created for us, but eventually if we did it manually, you'll have to do that. And choices is the code for multiple choice. So the first question is multiple choice, second question is also a multiple choice. So now you know the basics of how to create a multiple choice question.